What's up, Beamer Bills Knox? Look at my man with his oversized gorilla gloves. Grease monkeys, let's go. All right, so as we begin to say goodbye to chaos this week, I talked about this on a previous video. I don't deal with loss very well. It's hard for me. I'm still growing in that, trying to get better at it. But I like to work with my hands. It helps things. It helps me, you know, process and move through things. So I had a few projects I wanted to work on the Darkwing that I've been meaning to get done. I've got a leak coming from my power steering, not reservoir. It's somewhere between the reservoir and the hoses. I think I finally found it. I've also been having a little bit of an issue with my MAF sensor in the E30. So if you guys can see, it's nice and flush now. I actually already did this. I went in, I cleaned out the whole inside, wire brush cleaner, all that good stuff. Cleaned up the outside a little bit too. And I actually think I figured out what was going on with it. So every once in a while, after a really hard run or like driving around, I'll kind of get this on the RPM when I come to a stop, right? And so I know from experience now that could be a handful of things: vacuum leak, bad MAF sensor, usually somewhere in that range. So you got all kinds of vacuum lines and stuff. You want to track that stuff back, find out if there's any cracks or ruptures in any of the vacuum lines. Then you want to check your filters, because the filter could just be really clogged and it's having trouble pulling air through the filter, which in our case really shouldn't be that bad, because I have a direct cold line that runs straight from the front of the car directly into the box up through the filter. So check the filter. Filter looks good. Then we move on to our MAF sensor. You want to clean it really good. These MAF sensors are actually quite a bit more extensive than a standard MAF sensor, say in like Baby Girl, because it's just a plug-in sensor. This is like an entire mechanism. So I went in, I pulled the cap here, cleaned out from underneath there and all that good stuff, pulled the whole mechanism out from the snorkels and the air box, cleaned on the inside, lubricated everything really good, hit it with the wire brush, cleaned up any carbon or anything like that. And then I realized this thing mounts. I put brand new bolts in and everything some time ago now to mount it. And what I didn't realize is that when you over tighten these bolts, it actually will pull the MAF sensor back and kind of at an angle, which causes the seal right here to not be completely flat and flush, which leaves kind of a crevice around the edge for air to get pulled in. And when you're driving this car really, really hard, you're going to pressurize systems extraordinarily, and when you come to a stop, those pressurized systems are now running at a higher rate, and they're going to find the weakest point in this case to pull air through, which was right here. So we adjusted our bolts here, all three of them on the bracket, and that allowed us to get a nice flush fitment right here. What I may do is go ahead and look for a brand new rubber ring though, because see, this fits into that rubber ring, and that rubber ring is worn out because it's just old. So I may go ahead and just order a new rubber ring and replace it so there's a nice tight seal in there. So anyway, moving on, we're gonna head under the car now, and I'm gonna show you guys what I found with the power steering pump. Oh goodness. So big shout out to Harbor Freight for my jack stands, my jacks on both sides. Let's go. So now here's our power steering pump. The very first thing I noticed is, and I want to find, is where is the leak coming from, right? So we can see right here, it kind of almost looks like the leak is coming from here. Now with these banjo bolts, one thing that can happen over time is this stuff gets grimy and greasy and gross, and there's a washer on both sides. If there is grime and yuck buildup, then these crush washers are not going to seal all the way. So you want to clean this up, replug it in, and that should seal any leakage, that seepage that's coming through the crusher washer right here. Then I think, okay, well maybe it's not the crusher washer, maybe what I'm seeing is leakage from this monstrosity. So what I'm gonna do, number one, this is frayed, okay, but number two, if you notice, it's not even pushed down on the connection all the way. So what I'm gonna do is we're going to loose this, unplug it. Okay, this is the main feed line for the reservoir that runs all the way up to the base of the reservoir up there. So we're gonna dump all of our fluid, but I've got extra, so it's not a big deal. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this I'm going to get a big thick O-ring and slide it in right here. And then we're going to pull this all the way back down and seat it all the way down. And then we're going to get a fresh band clamp and we're going to tighten it down nice and tight so that if the seepage is coming from here and then coming down and dripping, you know, we seal off both of those sides. So that's what's going on with power steering pump. That's what we're doing today. Got a few other things I want to do under here, but really the underside of the car looks fantastic. I mean, there's not a lot underneath here that is in bad shape, and I just love the simplicity. To any mechanically minded person, this system is so simple. It's a very basic, simplistic mechanical system that is very, very easy to work on, and that even includes the suspension and stuff like that. So just gonna keep trucking on this car. This is my main project car while baby girl is turning into a 200 mile an hour monster. And that's going to take a few months. I've talked about that on the last video. That's going to take a few months because when you're working with certain people to get certain things done to reach those goals, they have timelines, and you can pay all the money you want to pay, but that's not going to expedite their timeline. So we just have to wait and go step by step on baby girl as we get her to that 200 mile an hour mark. And there is a lot that needs to be done aerodynamically, suspension wise, etc., weight reduction, etc. She's getting a new Sebin carbon wing, Sebin carbon. I never know how to say that right. The GTR hood is what's on there. She's getting a GTR low pro wing. I'm not going the big giant wing, but I am going full carbon fiber Sebin wing. We've got that stuff coming. So she's just going through a lot, like a full metamorphosis into just a full blown 200 mile an hour car. And it's just going to take a little bit of time. So stick around for that. Stick around right here at Beamer Builds Knox as we continue to work on these project cars. All right, y'all, so we pulled the reservoir. We detached the main line that runs to the power steering pump. This line runs down to the manual 5-speed ZF transmission. And this is the main feed line that I was showing you guys from under the car. And you can see we've gone ahead and cleaned up the mating surfaces. I'm going to clean up this connector end as well as this connector end now. I went ahead and washed down, whoop, maybe don't drop it. I went ahead and washed down the entire interior with degreaser and water and ran the whole system through. You can see how clean the inside of the banjo bolt is. Well, I guess that's not the banjo bolt. That's whatever you call that part. The bolt actually goes through there, and it is a banjo bolt. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and clean up this hose and the connection. All right, so that connection looks a lot better. It's not all frayed. We cleaned it up. We tightened up the connector. We forced it back down so it's fully seated. And then up here, we did the same thing. It's not frayed anymore. We cleaned it up and trimmed it up, redid the connection, and that system is all set. So now we're going to do reconnection and put everything back together. Woo! Thanks for hanging out with us today here at Beamer Builds Knox. Me and the little man, right?
Yeah.
Here at
Beamer Builds Knox.
Beamer Builds Knox, baby.